And we are back to JK Presents Behind the Scenes of Welcome to the Machine. This one is going to be a fun one. It's taking more of the ideas of old Hollywood, the matte painting. Here is an example of matte painting. Something is painted on glass, it's put in front of a camera, the camera shoots it, and you get the final piece. This same idea is what I wanted to do with Welcome to the Machine. I didn't have access to a apartment building that's kind of beat up and built, so we had to build it that way. Now, you get to see that and how I built it. So welcome to episode 3, matte painting. Well, let's watch the scene that we're going to talk about. Here's the actual scene. So we're here at roughly 30 seconds. Here's the exterior shot. It's hard to tell, but in that doorway, I'm walking to a back door. A car goes across to show that we're at. We hear the sights and sounds of the night, and we cut to what the character is looking into a room. So let's break down those effects. All right, so here we are in Photoshop, and I'm going to break down this effect. Let's go through this. Layer 1, the original shot. I shot this. This is the actual wall in McKinney, Texas. I shot it with my cell phone. I thought this is a cool looking look. I like this. And this is the raw color. This is how it looks. So I started cutting things out. Well, if you look, I had to clean up a little bit because there's some bad word up here. I had to extend this to erase that. So it became this. What I was planning on, this is the doorway that I was going to be walking through, my character. I was going to have a part of a room that revealed some electronics. Something like this, something like this, something like this. You can kind of get an idea that I wanted more robotic backgrounds. I did not do it after all because it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out. So I abandoned the idea. All right, let's move on. That right there, kind of see this. I looked up on the interweb a fan-made tattoo of the Welcome to the Machine album cover. There it is. That's what it looks like. That is the tattoo. I just did an overlay on it. I think I probably did it twice so it can pop out. If you duplicate your layer, as you see right here, it brightens it a little bit more. Next thing I wrote, which is hidden now, but the robotic voice asks, "Shall we play a game?" And I wrote that on a piece of paper, and then I took a picture of it, and then I cut it out in Photoshop, and I did that. It's covered up, I believe, by a pole, but let's see what else is up on this new layer. Ah, my doors. So you see, this door doesn't have there's no steps. It's just a wall with an open entry. Kind of ruins any look, so I needed an actual door. So I went and found doors. Let me find the right door that I used. Probably that one. There it is. Let me add. I think I duplicated and erased some of it. I did duplicate, and now you can see more exposed brick. So there is the door. I needed some steps. I got some steps. So I had this photo that I took at Universal Studios, and that is it there. So my Emporium sign here, I didn't want to have anyone look at that and go, I know exactly where that's at. That's why the image is not fully in frame, and I wanted to cover it up with a lamp. Now there's my lamp. So as you see here, that lamp would be fully covered. You'll see that in a bit. So we went through some of the Photoshop files of the exterior wall to the building that my character walked into. I'll show you how color correction can ruin the image, which I should have lightened it a little bit, but it is what it is. I got what I wanted out of it. Let's go back to the timeline. Let's see what we're looking at. Here's the record monitor, and let's see our next shot. There it is. Let me play that for you. So let's go frame by frame. Let's see what we have here. That right there is what's supposed to be happening in the doorway. What is that, you ask? I'm glad you asked. This is, let's pull up the raw footage. That is the doorway. It's me walking. Now here's a nice little note. The lights. Look at the lights back here. These are the same lights that are lighting this background. I'll show you what they look like now. Well, I have them going. I have one being red. It's coming from this right side, and it's projecting onto this part of the frame. And then in the back room, I have a blue, that you can't really tell. It's barely there. You see it more when you actually open up the door. The light in here is a practical. It's the automatic color that happens when you shoot. But this is my living room. I have all the lights off and only lights on here. So what's up on video 3? What do we got here? There it is, what it looks like. I'm going up to video 5 now. Ah, yes, a car. Let's call it that raw footage. Here's the raw footage of the car driving by. If you notice, I have a pole on the right side. I kept that pole in a separate layer, and I have this car. I went and I cut out car and frame by frame. It's not done very well, in my opinion. I did it kind of fast. I did hide it pretty well. Let's go to the next layer. There's my pole. This pole here, let me get the raw footage. How about that? F6, there it is. This is also in Photoshop. This pole was part of an image that I shot when I was in New York. I shot with my cell phone a marquee sign from Broadway, one of the shows, and I thought this pole was pretty cool. So I put it in the shot. I wanted to add a little bit more depth. I should have blurred it. Oh, I did try to blur it, but it didn't look good, but I miss it behind it. And it gives you that dimension that it's actually there. Top layer after that, I added the 16 by 9, which further blocked any logo action. Still kept some of the mood here. On the next layer after that, we have now some color correction. Made it more green. I wanted to mute it a little bit more. So after having it really green and bright and pretty, I wanted it muted. So I added another color correction and brought it back down a little bit. You see now the car is in place with the actual footage, meaning it's not so bright and out of place and not green. And then finally, one last glow effect that some of the images start to get lost in, but that's what I chose to hide. I really wish now that I cut this piece out and had some moving mechanics and robots being built, but again, budget. Moving forward into the shot, nothing new here. Let's go to the raw footage here. There it is. Here I am walking after I hit record. Oh, there's my dog. There's the dog. You can see the light that I have illuminating the room a little bit to add some sort of sparkle and shine. I needed a light behind me so you can see the silhouette. So walking in, wearing my overcoat, my London fog overcoat, which I've saved. That's my studio office. Here's the light that I was talking about. Now I'm going to turn it on once, boop. Turn it on twice, boop. What's that Harry Potter thing? Osteoporosis or something. Anyway, this light I have at Home Depot. It's my flashlight. It's magnetic as well. It's really awesome. But I have this little metal wallet that was given to me, and that's my base for now. I mean, I use the wallet, but it's my base. So I'm going in depth in these tutorials to remind you again that there's a lot involved in this process. And I'm taking my time to let you know what it takes to do this type of productions. Hopefully you get something out of it, and then you can take it to whatever you do in your productions. So anyway, thank you for taking the time for hanging out with us here at JK Presents. I hope you learned something and can't wait to show you some more. And remember, the new normal is abnormal. Welcome to the machine.